GN Sports Show, powered by the Calvin Air Foundation.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the GN Sports Show with me, George Saw Dublin.
And I'm Terry Andrew. Thank you so much for joining us.
And we're into season 6, episode 4 here, Terry. We have a real pack lineup. We're going to have Quinn Horsford, Generation X U7 player, a little princess in football, looking very sharp and hopefully one for the future. We'll also be having former national player, goalkeeper, Christian Corbette, Generation X Hall of Famer, and now joint manager of Friars and Epworth Football Club in the UK, Terry. We'll also be having administrator in the house, His Honourable Chester Hughes, president of Jennings Grenades Football Club, would also be here with us, Terry.
Certainly, and other members of the champion team, Grenades FC, joining us, Captain Quinton Griffith and assistant coach Devita Samuel. Of course, making history there, becoming the first daughter and father to win a championship in Antigua and Barbuda. Plus, Quinton Griffith, his son as well, winning a championship with him. And our doctor in the house, Dr. Rick Millis. Our topic, what's on your child's feet? Are they wearing the proper footwear? You will hear more about that and a whole lot more in our medical interview, or special interview with our doctor in the house, Dr. Rick. We have lots more to come right here on the GN Sports Show.
Our vision is to become the premier platform for showcasing and empowering young student athletes, providing them with the tools and exposure to excel both in sports and life, while shaping the next generation of confident, media-savvy leaders. The GN Sports Show is dedicated to highlighting the talent and stories of young student athletes across all sports disciplines. We aim to equip them with vital media exposure and public speaking skills, helping them grow into confident individuals both on and off the field. Through engaging interviews, mentorship, and real-world media experiences, we strive to foster personal and professional development that supports their athletic journeys.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the GN Sports Show. And on set with me this evening in our Spotlight segment is Quinn Horsford. Good evening, Quinn.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay, Quinn. And you went to school today, Quinn?
Yeah.
And what school do you go to?
Island Academy.
Island Academy? Oh, that's nice. And you all play football at Island Academy? You all don't play football at Island Academy?
No.
Oh, okay. So you goes to Generation Next Football. And what's your coach name at Generation Next? Coach Duran?
Yeah.
All right. So Quinn, what's your favorite subject in school?
Math.
Yeah. Math, Quinn?
Yeah.
So you like counting?
No, I don't do that.
You don't count in math?
No.
So what you do in math, Quinn?
Just right.
You just write?
Yeah.
You write numbers?
Yeah.
Okay. And you add numbers and minus numbers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And what's your teacher's name?
Goodwin and Miss Edwards.
Goodwin and Miss Edwards? Okay. And both of them are good teachers? All right. So in class, are you mischievous? Do you give trouble in class, Quinn?
No.
You don't? Oh, you look like a little troublemaker, I know, Quinn. You don't? Okay, so you have a best friend in class?
Yeah.
Your best friend does give trouble?
No.
So both of you are two saints, Quinn. So none of you give trouble?
No.
All right. And when you come to Generation Next, when you go to football on a Tuesday, on a Thursday, or Saturday, you just give trouble?
No.
No? So you don't give trouble no way that you go, Quinn? Nah, how I just see coach have you all running laps and sitting down on the ball and things like that. And don't give no trouble? All right, Quinn. So when you're going to football tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yes, you're going to football. And when you go to football, what do you like to do the most? Kick the ball, run with the ball, dribble. What do you like to do the most?
Kicking.
You like kicking the most?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And what position do you play? Do you play in goal? Do you play in defense? Or you play in front to score goals? Which position do you play? Do you know?
Defense.
You play defense? Oh, you said that means he's a runner. He's a track star. You like to run?
Yeah.
All right. So in the league, you play. So what team are you on? A or B? U7.
C.
So much teams y'all have down there. Hey. And you're the defender on the C team. Okay, so tell me one of your teammates on the C team name.
I don't know.
You don't have teammates name? Not one? Okay, there was one person in C that is with you.
Sherry.
Sherry?
Yeah.
Oh, I know Sherry. Sherry's a little sprightly little one. Alright, so you know Sherry does be on the same team? When you are playing scrimmages and so?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, and so as a defender, Quinn, defenders are mainly for stop ball from going in the goal. Do you stop ball from going in the goal when you're playing?
Yeah.
How much balls you stop? Plenty? A little?
10.
10? Oh, okay, alright. So when your mommy drop you off the football and you stop a ball, your mommy just be on the sideline cheering, Quinn! Your mommy just going on like that? No? Oh, come, I don't believe you, Quinn. I don't believe you. Your mommy just be making a whole set of noise on the line when you stop a ball from going in the goal. Ain't it?
What?
When you stop the ball, your mommy just making plenty noise, ain't it? And calling you. She don't? I don't. So what are you going to do about that? You're going to try to get mommy to make some noise when she come and watch you play then? Eh?
No.
So tomorrow, when we go to football tomorrow, your team getting medals? Because we having medals and trophies tomorrow.
No.
No, yes, I hear your team won the U7's league. So if your team came first in the U7 league, that means you're getting a nice little medal. You're getting a medal and you're getting a big trophy. The trophy might be bigger than you. So you might not be able to lift it up.
I don't get a trophy, but I get a medal.
You're getting a medal, but the trophy is going to be there for all of you to get pictures and so you and your mommy can get pictures, your best teammates can get pictures, and everybody can have a good time.
Okay.
Alright, so when you go to football on a Saturday, do you drink Milo? You don't drink the Milo? Why you don't drink the Milo, Quinn?
I don't know.
You don't know why you don't drink the Milo? Alright. So when you get bigger, do you want to continue to play football as you get bigger?
Yeah.
Yeah? And you want to be a good footballer?
Yeah.
I believe you could be a good footballer. Your mommy believe you could be a good footballer?
No.
She don't believe you could be a good... I believe she believes. No, I don't believe that. And she bringing you every session. She bringing you training every time. So that means she believes you could be a good footballer, ain't it, Quinn? Yes.
Yes.
Alright. So it's nice for you to come on the show, Quinn, and we enjoy having you here. You want to tell your mommy or your daddy or anybody hello? Who you want to tell hello? Your schoolmates? Say hello, mommy, hello, daddy.
Yes.
Well, say hello.
Hello,
Hello, who?
mommy.
Hello, mommy.
Yeah.
Alright then, Quinn. It's nice having you here, and we're looking forward to see you at Generation Next tomorrow when we come over, right?
Yeah.
Alright, have a good night. And with that, we'll take a quick break. And we'll be right back with the GN Sports Show. And welcome back to the GN Sports Show. And on set with me in Champion Circle is Generation Next Hall of Famer Christian Corbette, National Under-20 Christian Corbette, Joint Manager of Friars Lane and Epworth FC, Christian Corbette. Welcome, Christian.
Thank you.
Yes, it's been a while, Christian. The last time I saw you was an under-20 player, so it's been a while, you know what I'm saying? So, Christian, what's been up with you? I know you're after the under-20s and you finished from school, you went abroad, so just give us a brief, on the academic part of going abroad and playing football professionally.
So I went up to England, obviously, to pursue studies, and football is the main thing. I went and studied a BTEC honours degree to get a sports and exercise science, while also playing football. Obviously was awarded the opportunity to play for Mansfield Town due to Ricky and Generation Next contact.
Okay.
Played a little bit of the non-league scene in England, which has then now led me to obviously my managerial career.
And so you went to university, played a bit of football, and your answers you say studied
sports science, sports and exercise
science. All right. Well, so how was it at Mansfield Town? I know Mansfield Town is a professional, sports professional club, right? Let's just give us a brief breakdown on what it is like at Mansfield, in terms of the where it was coming from, because apparently that was just after you finished the U20.
Yes, yeah,
so,
yeah.
What was that like for you, coming from being here for most of your footballing journey to going into Mansfield and trying to make a way?
It was a massive shock to the system, because here everything is laid back, as they like to say, island time.
Right.
Whereas it's a lot more structured. You have to meet deadlines, get to training on time properly, and just work really hard. Obviously the system is a European system, so you have coaches from all over the world that come and you learn different styles of play, and just it broadens your horizon on the game of football.
All right, that's all right. So at Mansfield,
Yeah.
So when you went in the younger divisions at U18s,
Yeah.
and then you gradually went up from there. So you played
Yeah.
for the first team.
No.
Get to the first team.
No. So I was just in the academy, and then obviously got let go, and I went into non-league football.
Okay, all right. So in the academy, so you went as far as up to what age? You what?
21.
U21.
Yeah.
And in that spell at Mansfield, the U21, did you win any championship? Got close to anything? And this, hey, listen.
Unfortunately.
To be in Mansfield as an auntie and Chris is a lot, and there's a lot of kids who watch the show and so on, and just to get a little drift of what you go through, it could excite them to want to get to that particular point. I'm just,
Yeah, I mean, playing in a lot of the academy stadiums and sometimes playing at the first team ground, it's a surreal feeling. And it's playing on the proper pitches and, playing on grass. And a lot of the AstroTurfs and everything. It's a good feeling.
Well, all right. Well, just to come back home a little bit and to talk about U20 football, because I think I can say we were on one of our most successful U20 teams. As a matter of fact, we're at the same point where you guys got to the last time. Now, U20 set up.
Yes,
we're definitely the same point now. And, it's new because it's been some years since we have gotten to this particular point. And just give a little bit about, now this group that is here played one round of football, and now they're in the final round to go on to the World Cup. And in your guys, you played 3 different rounds, and I think I went to Trinidad,
St. Martin,
and Curacao, something like
that. And then Costa Rica.
Okay, so you see, that's a lot more. That's 3 games every time you all went. So that's 9 games you all play where they play 3, and that's 3 now to go on. So what was the process like? Just after y'all, or not even the process, the feeling. What was it? How did it feel after y'all qualified in the last round to go on to the final stage where y'all went to Costa Rica and played?
Ecstatic was a feeling.
It was
a surreal feeling because, like you said, I don't think any of the national teams had gotten to that stage before. So it was like the big thing to be the first group to exceed expectations, because when you're playing the likes of Puerto Rico and all these bigger countries where they say football is supposedly better, and we go and beat them and go unbeaten until obviously we play Haiti in the final. The whole group was excited, and a lot of us, we had played together obviously under 18s and 15, so it was a good group and everybody was happy. So
it was a group of continuity then?
Yeah.
Okay.
For a lot of us.
All right. Well, if you could say to these players who are in the process now, because I know we're in training process now, and you get an opportunity to speak to them, because I think that would be something good for them, talking to somebody that has been there. What would you say to them?
You're there for a reason, and follow the guidance in your coaches and obviously in yourself. Believe. Exceed expectations, and the world is your oyster when it comes to football. Express yourself. Don't be afraid. Leave everything on the pitch and go and win out.
Well, they can't ask more than that. So we're just gonna go a bit into now your manager, whether you're joint manager of Friars Lane and Epworth Football Club. That's so just give us a breakdown on the division they're in, which part of England we're in, stuff like that.
So we're based in Leicester. We play Step 7 football in the Everard Brewery Senior League. So when you look at it, it's not the highest of leagues, but it's still a competitive league where things can happen.
So, okay, so you say you play step 7.
Yeah.
So is the higher the number, the further away you are from professional football, or the higher the number, the closer you are?
The higher the number is further away.
Further away, yeah.
Yeah.
So step 7. So let me equate step 7 to Caribbean football. What do you think, or to our football in the country, all 3 divisions that we have? Would you say that step 7 is a better division than our Premier League, or it's around the same?
I wouldn't say it's too far off. I think it'd be relatively the same. It just goes to style of play and yeah.
An attitude in it.
Yeah. I mean, in that league you have a lot of ex-pros.
Right.
Well, I say ex-pros, but people who are just trying to enjoy football, who've been higher in the higher leagues. And it's serious, but it's also very relaxed.
Well, as joint coach of that club, what is your expectations for yourself at that, at that level, or at this point in your managerial career?
Well, it's pretty early. I've only been given the job as of a month ago. So we're trying to build success, because the team was one of the biggest teams in Leicester. Got pretty high, played in the FA Cup and got through a few rounds and everything. Ideally, you want to win the league. But to finish anywhere in the top 4 would be amazing.
So as joint manager, is that you have, I won't say, is there a manager, or both of you carry the same title?
Yeah, so we both carry the same title. We make the same decisions. Effectively, it's to just share knowledge, because we both have different experiences in playing football. My partner Jarrell is an attacker. Right. Obviously, I've played further down the field.
Is he younger or lower? Is he younger or older than you?
We're around the same age.
Okay.
Yeah. But we both played a high enough standard of football to kind of grasp the basic understanding of success.
Of management.
Yeah, and management.
Well, I know that you say, well, as joint manager, I think you would be a part of the recruiting process.
Yes.
And I know you said earlier that is most like ex-pros or players who just playing to enjoy it. I'm an ex-pro. Yeah. So just in case you need anybody, I'm just training out there. I think you could give me a ring.
Yeah, well, just let me know.
They could give me a ring. But so the club in itself, just give me a basic setup of the structure. They have their own training facility, they have their own homepage, things like that. If that's all those things are in place.
Yeah, so like a lot of clubs, we have our own academy. So the youth development part of it starts from, I believe, under 7s and works its way up to the first team. We have our own stadium. There's an AstroTurf pitch up on the opposite side of the road that we have access to during the winter, so we don't actually damage
the grass,
the ground. And yeah, it's a work in progress.
So y'all have a main pitch, which is the game pitch, and y'all have a training facility.
Yeah.
Okay, and what is the training like? Because I know I have friends who play in the UK system, and from what I hear when they speak, it's in that the lower you go, you train later in the day.
Yeah, because a lot of the players, because you don't earn an income in that standard. From playing.
Okay.
So a lot of the players go to work, and then we'll train around 6-7 o'clock in the evening, and
how often do you train?
So we'll train about once a week.
And play how much times a week?
Once. Sometimes maybe twice.
And so you train once and play once?
Yeah.
So what day do you play on? Or it varies?
So it's mainly on a Saturday. Yeah. During cup competitions, it may be thrown in on a Tuesday or a midweek. So we'll have to alter the schedule of training, and all these different factors come into play.
So you all are registered under the English FA, right?
Yes.
So basically the FA Cup and stuff like that, y'all are involved in that, or y'all has to pass a certain grade to be involved in that?
Yeah, so I believe we need to be promoted another 2 times.
So that was step 5?
Yeah, to be then entered into the preliminary stages.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I had a kid a coach when I was in Montserrat, and he plays in Step 5 in the UK. I just can't remember the team he plays in.
Okay.
That's how I know they had steps and so on in English. I just thought we had like how we had these divisions, and then maybe I might have lower leagues that would be, like, for example, in Coventry has a lower league as its own, or maybe Leicester has a, I thought it was like that. I didn't know it's like the FA controls everything.
Essentially, I mean, our league is just based around the Leicestershire. So the furthest we have to travel is half an hour outside of Leicester. And then the league above, then it goes into like Nottingham and Birmingham. So the higher you go, the
more wider it spreads.
The wider it spreads, and the further you have to travel.
So, as you say, you've just been put into the job. Both of you have been put in the job at the same time, or he has been before, so both you're newly appointed.
Yeah, so we played there last season. And then I got injured, and then I kind of stepped into helping out the previous coaches and managers, and got a feel for it. And I said to my friend, well, joint manager now,
right,
I think we can do this. And I think we can be successful.
All right,
still strong.
Hey, listen, sometimes, if you see something in front of you and you believe in yourself enough to make an attempt at it, you have a chance at it,
Yeah.
You understand me? So the first person that has to believe is you. So, as you say, y'all have to get to Step 5 to be able to go on, to get into it. Is that you're looking at promotion at this point?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
so how does it go? Top 2, top 3, 1 team? Because I see some leagues in England and there's only one team get promoted.
Yeah, so from my understanding, we have to finish between 1st and 4th and then apply to the league to then be promoted, and then they'll do some internal checks to make sure you're financially stable and can basically fund yourself to play in these higher leagues.
All right. So you could make the grade playing wise, but you could not make the grade financially.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it seems like financially is the most important criteria there.
Well, the money runs the world.
Yeah, financially.
Unfortunately.
All right. So just a quick question and like what your base is like in terms of age for the first team that you're going to be coaching this season coming up. Like your base age, do you have a cap where you're going to in terms of you're going to play older and such, or you live on the principle that I live on? If you're good enough.
Yeah, that's it. So we'll give anybody an opportunity. Right. Having been given opportunities to play football at a young age and experience the experiences I have, we want to offer that to young aspiring footballers, and also get a mix of older experienced footballers who can kind of put their hand around them and give them some guidance.
Right. Yes, that's me. So you say I'll have the academy system which starts from U7s. How high does it go? What's the eldest age group? 23 season.
So reserves, So the reserves, you can be any age.
You can be any age.
So I think it goes from 18 to reserves to then the first team. So we're trying to work with the reserves to have a core bunch of young and old footballers who will then feed us as it should be.
Yeah, because and as I say, I want to understand. I'd like to know like your mindset. I've done a bit of coaching myself.
Yeah.
And being appointed as young as you are to joint manager, I would want to believe you're going to take your time and try to build where you want to go. So are you going to do that by seeing to it that the academy players are being properly prepared, so that instead of taking players from outside or otherwise, that you could integrate these players into your first team once they show that bit of quality?
Yeah, of course.
And that's the route, I believe. Well,
that's how it should be.
That's how it should be.
In any sort of footballing academy or anything, you need to grow the younger generation and give them the opportunities to then make a career out of it.
All right. Well, just to get back a bit on the local front of your career, did you ever get any senior national cap? Were you ever called up?
No, under 23s was the last.
And that was when they went to Santo Domingo, was it?
Yeah. They don't.
Well, you migrated to the UK, so I guess sometimes it goes out of sight, out of mind.
That's it.
But at least you didn't give up on the game, and you made a career out of it for yourself, and now you're still in it, and that's a good thing. So with that, I'd just like to wish you all the best in your now new role as giant manager. And I could give you a bit of advice. Being a manager is like, it's worse than being the owner. I know, I'm being honest, because at the end of the day, the owner has a choice to either keep it or fire.
Well, that's it.
You understand what I'm saying? And as the manager, everything that goes right is going to be the players.
Yeah.
And everything that goes wrong is going to be you.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So, but at the end of the day, make sure that you stick to whatever philosophy and beliefs that you have. And don't compromise it for the benefit of someone else. If you're compromising your belief, make sure that compromise is for the benefit of you and your team.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And I think you have a bright future in coaching once you stay humble and stay pure to the game. And so Christian, thanks for coming on to the show. I really do appreciate talking to you. I've always been a fan over the years, you know. I like goalkeepers because I'm a defender. Yeah. And if I don't like goalkeepers, then I'm in trouble. So I love anybody that says I love goalkeepers. Mulvin, I love goalkeepers. Because I know when I make a mistake, if the goalkeeper know that so has love for him, he's going to try to build so. Yes. You understand what I'm saying? So I love goalkeepers. Thanks for coming. I really do appreciate it. And with that, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with the GN Sports Show. Back to the GN Sports Show, and we're now into a second champion circle here, and the champion is definitely in the house. President of the Jennings Grenades Football Club is here with us and said, so champions once again of the Antigua and Barbuda Premier League.
Yes.
Mr. Hughes, 2025-26 it is?
It feels great.
It
feels great.
I know the feeling, eh?
Yes, of course. That's what I was just going to say to you. You should know how this feels.
I don't know how the guy to the left, but
it's not his season.
Yeah, I know his feeling. And your second championship, it is
that's correct.
In 4 years?
Yes, that's correct. It should have been more, but unfortunately we stumbled along the way a couple of times, and we got it right again.
Well, yes, as I said earlier, congratulations. I didn't watch much of the games, because the few games I watch, and I watch a couple with your team playing, I watch a couple with Arsenal United playing, and those games are more or less going, you could see the direction they go.
Right.
And as I'm saying, you have I must say that you assemble a fantastic team of players. It's absolutely quality from front to back, back to front, however you want. Yeah. Maybe, when I say from back to front, they don't be starting from the goal.
No. Well, the goal is good too.
But just give us a quick breakdown on how you got to where you got, and how you got the players in them you wanted to start the season. And
well, first and foremost, let me say, so when I look at the team, I look at the first 11, potential first 11. I look at where we need to strengthen from the previous season. We knew that last season we fell short after we came back from the club championship. Because we lost a number of potentially very good players, but who went back to their club, like the Scott brothers went back to Green City. We lost Sean, he went back to Villa, and so on. And Massacot, he went back to Jennings United. So we lost those, so we were able to say, look, this time around, we want to have firm seasoned players. So in pulling all of that together, we looked at the paper and we said, okay, this is the perfect team, almost the team that took us to the club championship. We had already reassembled back into the squad, with the exception of a few persons.
It wasn't going great the whole time. You had to scrap sometimes. You fell behind a few times. But the big moments, Grenades always come to the fore. What do you think Grenades had that the other teams just didn't have? Other than players, of course. But.
No, what we had this season outside of the other seasons was the consistency at training. Right? And in past seasons, you'd never had a full makeup of players that were committed to training. So you'd have 10 tonight, you have 9 tomorrow night, then you have 15, and then close to the match, you have 18 players on the field. You know that goes
right, of course.
Right? But this time around, we had a constant training session of 18 players out of 25. Consistently 18 players out of 25.
18 or more.
And more,
It doesn't go no lower
than 18. And not only that, there was a hunger because, what happened, the players loved the luxury life that they had when they went to the Caribbean Cup. They have the Club Shield and the Caribbean Cup.
Right.
Because it's life of luxury. You're riding around, you're up in the air this week, you're on the ground, you're telling your boss they have a letter for you, you're getting a stipend to go and play football, you're staying in a hotel for a whole week and eating. You know that life. So they had a celebrity life. And you know, when we went to the Caribbean, the Club Shield in Curacao, Sandals, our sponsors, they took care of the players. So the motivation there was every time you won a game, they send the Sandals bus and escort us to the property there in Curacao. And when we went to the property in Curacao, the players were treated like kings. They had the best meal. They had everything that they weren't getting in camp. So they were all excited about that itself, and it really created, and they felt they missed that luxury because one, they gave All Saints United the luxury the following year to go to Trinidad, and the All Saints United have the luxury again this year to go to Trinidad again. So they said, no, not 3 in a row, and not 3 in a row. So there was an energy that we must win this year, and there was that feeling that we must win. That was in the team.
Your toughest challenge in the last 3 years in terms of teams in the Premier League, what you think is it? I know we came back and draw a game with you this season. We dropped out, which was last season. And some people said that he killed you last season for not winning.
Yes, that is correct.
I won't say that because I think he had like 2 games after my game.
Yes, but
and
that
I think
one
he stumbled one of those two too.
Yeah, well, that game started the stumbling, and you and I know so that when you're on the verge to a cup and you lose a vital game that you should not have lost, because at that time Hoppers was struggling. Hoppers was bottom of the table. We're bottom of the table, and you lose to a bottom of the table team.
No,
and
we
then,
drew.
Well, this one lost for us. Right, we lost to a bottom of the table because we lost some points there that were well needed, and you know that created a ripple in the club. And you went into the next game, and then you draw the last game. And when All Saints United won, and that last game that we drew was when we played against the same team there, Rangers. You know, we went into the game and draw that game against Rangers. Neymar them. And you know, it was like the coach at the time had felt that, okay, all we needed was a draw because it was going to go head to head. And that gave All Saints United the cup by goal difference.
That wasn't the first championship that they got? That
yes,
was the first
goal
one,
difference. That's goal difference win for them. But they never beat us. They didn't beat us.
That was my next question. You know, for me, it's difficult to lose 2 championships to a team that I beat twice. You know what I'm saying? I as a player, it's as you say now. This year, I showed that was motivation for you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because we lose in the cup to a team that we beat in every year, convincingly.
Every season.
We dominate 90 minutes of it. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not an easy task. But just moving forward, you're back in the Caribbean Shield 2027.
Yes, that's correct.
But before the Caribbean Shield, you got to go back into the 2026-2027 Premier League.
That's correct.
So, and as you said now, based on losing, you lost some players in the transfer window that went back to their clubs locally. And you weren't getting the numbers throughout the last years in terms of training. So what's the difference in the players? Do you have more locally based players now that are the local based players giving you more consistency now, or you have less local and more professionally, more professional minded players now? Why you have a better coaching number this season?
It's a combination of both. The more professional players motivated the local players to turn out.
Right.
So it was a combination of both that, and the coaches made the practice exciting, so that everybody wanted to be at practice. And one of the things that we felt was that we said from the start, this is all about discipline. So we say 5:30 whistle blows. So our training was at 6 o'clock, so everybody had to be there 5:45. And if you're not there, you communicate in the group chat that I'm on my way. Right. Because the coach have to decide what's his program going to be, if he should go along with what he plans during the day or alter it based on who's going to come to training. And not only that, I made myself as president available at every practice.
What's the time frame of communication?
The time frame must...
If I'm starting a session at 6, you can't hit me at 5:45 and tell me.
During the course of the day, because you're expected to say by midday what you're doing. All right, but we give and take sometimes because a person might be on their way and go into an unfortunate situation. So we give and take, but majority, if we don't hear from you, it means you're coming to training.
Okay.
If you're not coming, we don't want you to say, I'll be present. No, you don't have to answer. You don't have to say nothing once you're going to be at training. If you're not going to be at training, you must say why, or you must communicate with the management why you're not at training.
Looking forward now, this new administration coming in to govern football in Antigua and Barbuda, they thought maybe the Premier League wasn't enough of football for all clubs, and they're thinking about pre-season, if not this year, maybe into the future, like a pre-season tournament, going back to what we used to have, the Knockout Cup and that sort of stuff. Just your thoughts in the amount of football the top clubs in Antigua are playing.
Well, first and foremost, you must have the quality and the depth to play more than one competition throughout the season, right? And a lot of clubs don't have the depth to play it, right? You would find that, after, if you go into a knockout and a player realizes that he's not making the team on the first 3 or 4 games, once the transfer window is still open, you're starting to lose players before the season even starts. So you as a coach have to manage expectation and manage the players. Right, but I believe in playing those early competitions, but they must be organized, because we've had 1 or 2 of those competitions that started that never completed. Right, they've never been completed for one reason or another. I think what the focus should be is helping clubs to become more professional, because at the end of the day, you have a situation where clubs are still operating as amateur clubs. At the last game of the season, take for instance the Jennings United game, they almost couldn't field 11 players.
But Mr. Hughes, we playing is amateur.
It's an amateur football, but they must operate as professionals in an amateur league. Because when we leave from here for the club championship, we're not looked at as amateur clubs. We're looked at as semi-pro and professional clubs, because you have to behave just like a professional club when you travel. Now, when we went to the Caribbean, the Carib Club Shield, we were amongst amateur and professional clubs in Curacao.
Right.
But then when we went on to the Caribbean Cup, we were amongst all professional clubs. So you had to make sure you have more than one jersey. You walk around hotel, you have to practice, go to the practice. You have clubs that were playing in the Premier Division still with one jersey. And those are the basic. I'm not saying about the real up,
the real upskill
thing. But you're coming to a Premier League, you have one jersey, and then you only have a half a kit. Those things can't continue. The clubs must have 3 kits, and there must be, and as I told the incoming executive, you must have a welcome meeting for new clubs coming into the Premier Division to say this is your expectation. Because there's an orientation period that must take place after the season's ended. So a club knows during the off-season what I have to have in place for the start of the Premier Division. So that you're doing a Premier Division, and some clubs are basically have the same jersey from the last season, and somebody nick one of those jerseys, so you're short one jersey already, and then they're hustling around and they don't have sponsorship. And this is where the association should be able to help clubs also, where you help clubs with their branding exercise. So here it is that, okay, you have 3 clubs. Can I see what business places and help those clubs with letters to facilitate them towards a sponsorship? A sponsorship doesn't mean that you have to have a major sponsor like a Sandals with Grenades. But you can have a nice community shop that gives like a $2,500 or $5,000 to the club. That's $5,000 towards water and the isotonics for the team to use, towards the bus, because some clubs are coming from the countryside, and some clubs have young players that they need to get home after our training sessions. So it's an investment that the association can also give to the clubs, right? So at the start, because if you do that consistently, you never have a club in the Premier Division without a sponsor. No matter how big or small, you assist those clubs with identifying potential sponsors.
They went back to the 2 full round. this season gone, and we saw the same thing. Like
Yes.
9 players on a bench, especially when you were going down.
Yes.
You have 9 players on the field, and you have the coach and maybe one person, one person
On the bench.
On the bench,
And that's the problem.
Yeah, but including me, all of us beat that system before when you had the ranking in the second round,
Right.
and you play like 3 games or something like that. And I think you guys were there.
Yeah, when we played
came
the
up
Premier League, yes,
when we came up with that. And I mean, a bunch of us beat it because hey, I want 2 full round of football. Yeah, we're not playing enough and that sort of thing. But now we go back to the 2 full round. We have the same thing at the end of the season. Teams that are not making it, the 4 are not making it, just wilting away. So I don't know. I don't know what's the.
I
the
think
solution.
I think the 2 full rounds are very good. I prefer the 2 full rounds. I won my first cup on the ranking system, and I now won my second cup on the 2 full rounds. The grudge match is very important in football. You take my 3 points the first round.
Right.
I want your
The
3
3
points the
points
second
second
round. Right? And then when you take the 3 points, then you always say, yo, your 6 points is mine.
Yes.
So already I don't say, well, Hoppers, your 6 points is mine coming back into the Premier Division because I want the food from Hoppers to eat to get to the cup.
Let me ask.
Right? And that's how things go.
Yeah.
I'm not someone not going to give me the 6 points. No.
I'm not giving it.
You'll be fighting to maintain your 6 points.
Yeah, let me get this in before we run off. Derek Prettyboy Edwards.
Yes.
And what he brought to the table of Grenades.
Leadership. Let me say this. I can lead, I can do everything for a team, but if they're not motivated by the person who's guiding them on the field, it makes no sense. I can give a club everything. We could dress fancy, we could have the best sponsor, but if that coach is not providing the leadership and example that is required for mature players to follow and can counsel them, then it's nothing. And his seniority and his whole demeanor of how he takes the practice is very, very important. And the players look up to him because he's a national icon in football. So they look up to him and they coach. And then not only that, one of the things that he's instilled in this club, right, since taking over the coaching, and that has been part of the club's mentor, but we've built on it, is that the start of the season we go to church, the middle of the season we go to church, the end of the season we go to church. So you during the transfer window, when you have that break, we take it and say thank you for the first half. We're asking for a top up for the second half. And then at the end of the season, we go to church. We won the trophy. They gave us a makeshift trophy. We took it to the church that we normally do, and it sat in the church for a whole week. So we're saying we couldn't do this without God's involvement in the whole team itself. So we always put God at the center of all that we do. No matter how round, you know how locker rooms can get
Right,
when you lose a game. At the end of it, when everybody's passion is out, we ask God for protection and guidance and take us into the next week. And everybody shows up. We pray at practice before we pray at practice after.
All right. Just to wrap up, my last question is, you know that the Calvinia Foundation sponsors the female
Yes.
league, and I've seen you at a number of games. I think at one point in time, we had a conversation.
Yes.
And over the years in my football experience, Juniors has always been one of those places with the female team.
Yes.
There hasn't been none for a little bit. I think we had a conversation. You say you're thinking about it. Are you still thinking about it?
Yes, and as I told the organizers, there are 2 things that we have to get over the hurdle. One is if you notice my brand, sandals, is part of everything we do. It's part of Grenades.
Right.
And we know the sponsor's brand is also part, because the sponsor provides jerseys. So we have to iron out that little thing, because although the sponsor of the league, if they're going to provide us with a jersey, our jersey must have on our club brand and sponsor, which is INET, and the sandals as part of it.
I was wondering if you figured tonight, huh?
No, they're part of it, right? So the whole trust of us entering the competition is understanding how our brand and sponsorship is going to work with the uniform
the major sponsor.
and the major sponsor of the competition. That's the only thing. But we're working towards getting a team and either organizing a team. We may get some blows at the start of it, but we want to work on entering the competition.
I don't really concern much about you getting blows, Chester. I just wanted to have a team.
And that's the point.
Yeah,
right, so
I
we're talking about that at the moment, and I give my commitment. Once we can feel a team, because it's going to be this year is going to be a rocky year for Grenades.
There's a lot going to be going on, isn't it?
Yes, and not only that, I will not be on the ground as I would have been for the next 8 to 9 months, the way I want to be on the ground because of my studies. So I'm going to be in and out of the country. The club is going to be run by the manager, and I brought on a new vice president. I filled the vice president's slot. So, and it's going to be a lot of preparation because we use the league, the upcoming season, as preparation for the Caribbean Cup or the Club Shield.
Right.
So those matches, although we're playing in the local competition, is like practice matches and feeling out our preparation so that when the transfer window comes, going into the competition, we know where we're lacking, what areas we need to strengthen to go into that competition.
All right.
So we tend to identify local talents, and then after a lot of them recognize that, hey, the rules change so that you can't go back to your club until the transfer window in January. So a lot of them stepped back. Raheem de Turville was one of those players that we approached to come with us when we were going to Curacao for the club championship. He turned us down. So it's not that we go abroad first. And I want to make that clear. We have always approached local players to offer them not less than what we give the foreign players, but the same, because we treat everybody equal. We cannot bring a player here and have a Quinton Griffith here and then say to Quinton, we can't afford to pay you, but we're going to pay somebody to come and sit down and sleep all day, right? So we have to treat our elite players, our elite athletes the same way as we treat anybody that we're bringing in. Because we feel that if we can do it for a person coming in, we can do it for a person staying here. So you can say that every player except their school age gets a stipend from the club. We don't give school players any sort of money. We give them support. If they have we buy a boots or so on, we do that for them to ply the trade of football, but we do not give them any financial reward.
All right. Well, we have it, Terry. We can't say that we didn't get it this evening. Mr. Hughes, thank you for coming on the show. We really do appreciate you and your insight. And with that, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with the GN Sports Show.
Welcome back. You're watching the GN Sports Show. Thank you so much for staying here with us. Where we have more members from the champion team, Jennings Grenades or Grenades FC. Sandals Inet Grenades FC. We have assistant coach Devita Samuel and Captain Quinton Griffith here with us in studio. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here on the GN Sports Show.
Thanks for having us.
All right, you're the captain, sir. Just your overall take on the season. You guys are champions again.
Yeah, just want to say good evening to all. You know, I want to say thanks for having us here. You know, on the season, it was a great season for us. You know, we execute what we needed to do. You know, coming from not winning the previous year because of certain faults. You know, we work on what we had to work on, and go out and bring home this championship.
Listen, you got to play with your son. You got to win a championship with your son. Tell me that feeling there, because hey, I think we were more excited for you than you were or that you showed when you were excited. You get to win a championship with your son. Talk about that.
Well, this feeling, like, I can't explain this feeling. This is a feeling that deep within myself. That something that I always think about. From small growing up. Having a kid at 17, 18, playing at that age, about 2 years after that, I had signed, in America. So I had brought my son up there, so he had son set up over there. So, so back here, watching him growing up and stuff, I said, boy, I had to grab him, But that feeling, I can't explain that feeling, it's an honor. I truly, cherish that moment, playing with my son, winning the championship with my son, because it's not a lot of people get to do that. A lot of dads get to do that, So.
And he scored a goal too, and he ran straight to you. I saw that. I even had that out there too.
On that goal, like after I picked him up, coming to the game, we were actually late. But after we parked outside, because I didn't drove my car inside, we had a little talk, and I said, what you gonna do if you get a chance to play today? And I was, I gave him a little speech, told him to relax, study what's going on before you come on the field, and take the opportunity when you got it. And like, that's the same thing he did. And after he came to me, I was like, what did I told you?
Yeah, awesome, man, awesome. But listen here now, listen, Grenades were making all kind of records this season because Devita, you won a championship with your dad. I mean, that dynamic, just talk about that.
Well, of course, it's a feeling that is indescribable. But when I won, I was with Grenades in 2023, and I won, it felt good. But this time around, knowing that I did it with my father was just awesome because I'm a daddy's girl.
I know this. And listen, you just don't have an ordinary dad. You have a legend here in Antigua, an icon here in Antigua. I mean, just working with him and learning from him. Just talk about that experience.
Well, how do I explain it? It's a joy being his understudy. I mean, as you said, he's a legend. He's great, and I aspire to be a coach like him. So every training session, even though he's teaching the guys, he's teaching me as well. Because sometimes he would just throw me in there. You can ask him. Sometimes he would come the night and he'll be like, I can't make it. Devita, I can't make it on time. Just do something. So he gives me the confidence to work on my own, even when he's not there. And he also involves me in a lot of the decisions that we make where the team is concerned. So that's just, it's a good feeling.
All right, QQ, we talked about the team's makeup. And you've seen these players coming through the Grenades over the years and be a part of it. I'm not going to ask you to name the best Grenades player, overseas player that we have. I'm not going to put you on the spot. But just what it's like, I mean, just rubbing shoulders with some of those guys and leading some of those guys week in, week out. And listen, we know. I've been on the sidelines, and I hear you there. I hear you put some of them in their place more times than not. Which I mean, it's a leader, and I think it's accept. And some of them grab it and think, okay, yes, boss, no mess up there. You know, but just play with them week in, week out, practicing, winning championship.
I mean, it's not easy. It's always a fight, like at practice, like. When we're practicing, we like some of the players that came in like overseas based players, like we're always on like the opposite team, like such as Kurt, Barry, these players, like we're always on the opposite team. So like even if like we're playing and like something happen, like I'm on them, like because like if I'm not on them, it's like you're gonna think like it's okay, and it's not. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, I know everything. I'm not gonna curse or anything, but like I see something, like I'm gonna talk it. So sometimes it's tough, dealing with players, because some players is heated in the moment and, would not understand what you're really trying to tell them. But as soon as they calm down, they'll be like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. Or, my bad for that just now.
And listen, and the season didn't go straightforward. I mean, nothing that does well or nothing good goes straightforward. You guys had to claw back sometimes. You had to fight back. I remember when you guys lost to Grenades, and then I think United had won, and then they jumped over you guys. I think that's kind of how it went. But you guys just find a way to be there in the big matches. And for some reason, also United can't beat you guys. So I don't know what's wrong there. But just talk me through some of the low moments and some of the high moments that I guess you guys remember.
During the low moments, like we never gave up. Like we showed support with each other from the coaching staff, come straight down players to players. And like even when we had the time when we didn't play for like 3 to 4 weeks, like we kept training, we kept together, we kept bonding, we kept linking up after practicing at the team house, etc. So
Devita, from you're saying from a coaching standpoint, I mean, we talked about the plethora of talent that came to Grenades. I mean, to keep all of them happy. Listen, you can't keep all of them happy because sometimes you hear, boy, me want to go on. No. I'm sure you hear that on the bench. I mean, how you guys keep them balanced? Keep them,
So I can't even say it's a tough one, but myself and Q, we're just having a conversation about how players, they have an understanding that, listen, these are the key players, and I basically have to work off this guy. So the competition at practice is top tier. Like, I feel like we're more competitive at practice than we are at games. So everybody has the understanding that, hey, I need to work off this guy. But then we get them to understand that the time you're thinking about in your head might not be your time. Okay. You know, so it's not even just playing, but getting them in a mental space to understand that whatever we're doing, it's for the team, the greater good of the team, and not individual players. So it's a lot of pep talks, because we have a lot of pep talks. I mean, I remember myself and my dad, we had this whole practice session where we just had words where we picked out of a basket, and they just spoke on what they felt the word meant, what it means to the team. So we were building this from the beginning.
Nice. All right, I'm going to ask you about two players, Q. Just you just tell me what they are like in person and what they bring to Grenades. So Kurt and Barrington Blake. Those two players in particular, and you can choose who you talk about first, but what they bring to Grenades. I mean, I've seen what they brought to Grenades, but just your thoughts. What do you think they brought to Grenades? Bring to Grenades.
They bring flair.
Yeah.
They bring fire. They bring great additional to the team. You know, strong in behind and like a go-to man. You know, that will just go after the goal and fire to the goal. Like doesn't matter like what position or whatever. Like, but Barry, you know, plays alongside me in the midfield, actually in front of me, like, you know, for a whole season, like, I got to keep, you know, on them, like.
Yeah, hey,
you know?
and that's the part I was going at. He listens, though. Listen, I've seen a lot of people melt down when you open your mouth, and so, but he listens, and he reacts like, yes, boss, the next one, you know what I mean, next one, I'll do the best. You know, and I mean, having a teammate like that, you know, as a talented, and, you know, he's not one of the locals, but he doesn't give off like the arrogant, you know what I mean, coming in, so he listens.
As I say, like, he doesn't. And I say sometimes, like, you're on the heat of the moment, like, you will, you know, so sometimes we'll go back and forth, even on the field, like, really in range, you know, and, like, I understand him, you know, so I will still be on him, even if he doesn't want to hear. And he will just move on from him and just, like, you know, after he see a goal.
Yeah, those two players. Because, I mean, I think, along with Q, those two players make Grenades that thing that unbeatable force there.
Yeah, for me, Kurt is one of the smoothest defenders I've seen.
I mean, him and what we call what the last coach was what's his name?
Donovan?
No, the other tall one, the Jamaican one.
Harvey.
Yeah, yes, yeah. He remind me of a young Harvey when Harvey just came. You know, like smooth, cool. They don't sweat too much.
No,
but they get the work done.
I have to study how Kurt remains so calm all the time, even when we're under the toughest of pressure. Kurt is just so calm. He kicks the ball effortless alongside this one over here. Like my dad says all the time, if he played with these two people, he would have even more goals. So Kurt, smoothest defender I've seen, and Barry, listen, that left foot, we have to cut it off. When his time is over, that has to be in a trophy case.
I mean, listen, winning it once, you know they're going to come for you again. And last time you guys won it once, it took a little bit before you can win it again. Repeating is the plan? Repeating is the goal?
Yes, repeating is definitely the goal. We identified some key areas that we want to, beef up on. So my dad and myself, we're in discussions. Of course, we have to discuss with our management and the president in terms of maybe 4-5 additions to what we have now, because we have a strong core now, and we definitely want to repeat. And I think we have the guts to repeat. We just need the tools now, fully, to do the job.
Going back in the Caribbean Cup, I mean, that's a plus. I heard it was a better roses in Curacao, and you guys were definitely itching to get back. You guys get back there in 2027.
Who said it was a better roses in Curacao?
Listen, I'm not saying who told us, but someone said it was a better roses in Curacao. Getting back in the Caribbean Cup, more competition. I guess that's what you guys like, because you guys rise to the occasion every time the team gets better. Just your thoughts getting back to the Caribbean Cup.
My thoughts getting back to the Caribbean Cup is opportunity for the local players that are with us and that is going to join us, you know, because like it's the world scene and you have opportunity to play against teams from America, teams from across the Caribbean, you know, so more based on, you know, I'm happy that, you know, players are going to get the look that they really need.
Mm-hmm. Nice. All right. Anything you guys want to tell us that I didn't ask? Are we okay? We good?
Yeah, we're good.
Awesome stuff. Matter of fact, how you guys? Do you guys like this black jersey? I was iffy at first when I saw you guys played Jennings United. That was the first game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was a bit iffy, but it grew on me. It grew on me. And so, is someone an Arsenal fan? Who's an Arsenal fan? Anything?
The president.
The president.
The president.
When I saw it first, I'm thinking. I mean, it grew on me, but it makes a nice jersey. Kidding. All right. Devita Samuel, assistant coach of the champion team at Grenades FC, and Captain Quinton Griffith, just talking to us. Guys, we wish you guys all the best as you continue, maybe trying to repeat, and you take Grenades into the Caribbean Cup.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We'll be right back with more here on the GN Sports Show.
We would like to thank the sponsors of Generation Next, Fruta, Antigua Masonry Products, Citizenship by Investment Unit, ACT, Flow, Island Photo, and Francis Trading Agency.
Welcome back. You're watching the GN Sports Show. In our special feature tonight with our doctor in the house, Dr. Rick Millis. We'll talk about the proper footwear needed for young children in sports or just sports in general. And Dr. Rick is here to tell us everything that we didn't know and hope we learned something. Dr. Rick Millis, thank you so much again for being here with us. As always, a doctor in the house.
You're welcome. Thank you. I just came from research day at AUA. That's why I'm not wearing my GN Sports Show.
Yeah, but you look like the real doc. You look like the real doc now with your tie. You look spiffy, huh?
Thank you.
So this is your attire every day?
No.
This is a
once
one-off.
Once a year.
Once a year? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you had a special day today.
I like the purple now.
Okay.
You like it?
I like the purple.
Okay, good.
All right. Yeah, and you're here. You're still slick, Rick. With your hair?
Rick, yep.
All right.
But now it's time to talk about shoes. Of course, I have very fancy shoes on now, but I can't play in them.
Okay.
Don't worry. But we're talking about playing shoes now. So, what do you think about playing shoes? What do you know about playing shoes?
Your size?
Yeah, your size. You got to know. Well, that's very important, knowing the right size. You know, a lot of parents, they do is they let their kids grow into the shoes, or they go and buy shoes online, and they don't know whether they're going to fit right. Or they say, or there's hand-me-downs, you know, from other kids, from their brothers or sisters, hand-down shoes, and they don't fit. Either they're too snug, or they're too wide or too big, and that changes the whole form of the foot, because these feet are growing. You know, what do we talk about? Bones growing. Remember those growth plates in the bone that are made of cartilage?
Right.
Called the growth plates. Well, we have those growth plates in the foot bones too, and they're growing. They grow till kids are about 16, 17 in a boy, and about 14 or 15 in a girl.
Okay.
And they keep growing and growing and growing from the age of about 3. And so, if the shoe is ill fit, even when you're walking, forget about sports, but just walking, then the foot molds to the shoe, you see? And let's say it's snug, what's gonna happen? All those toes are gonna get crunched together, see? And the bones, you gotta remember, you're not just talking about toes, you're not talking about soft tissue, you're talking about hard tissue. The bones that are still soft, they're not completely hard yet, they're semi-hard, they start changing their shape. And that could last for a lifetime. So people can get what we call bunions, painful bunions.
So that's how you get bunions.
That's how you get bunions. And when those bunions are just in the soft tissue, it's one thing. But when those bunions start growing on the bone part, you know, the bone has a little knot on it.
The bump right outside,
yes.
outside the big toe.
Yes. When it's in the soft tissue, it's just a blister. But now when it happens hundreds of times, thousands of times, where there's rubbing of the shoe, now when the kid's bones are growing, they will develop these bunions and they have to be cut off. They get very painful, or they even bleed sometimes. So, that's crunching the foot. And then putting a shoe on a kid where the shoe is too big, the foot is sliding. And for the kid to get grip when he's running or playing, he's got to do this with his toes. He's got to flex his toes like that. Creates claw, and what it does at the end of the toe creates a hammer toe. You heard of a hammer toe? It's shaped like a hammer because the end of the toe has 2 or 3 segments to it, 3 little bone segments, and the last one gets shaped like that, and it looks like a hammer. It's called a hammer toe. It can happen to all the toes. And this is something that happens, affects a kid throughout life. Now, if the kid has some talent, some sports talent, what is it going to do to his sports talent? It's going to keep him from reaching his...
Diminish his potential.
Yes, his potential. He can't reach his potential. Let's talk about the pitch here in Antigua. If you go to the United States and you live in a very wealthy area, expensive area, they got nice groomed turf, right? And they cut the grass regularly, and there's not a lot of ruts and holes. Is that true here in Antigua?
Not all the places, but we understand. We get your point. Do
you have some place? Do you have any places like that? No.
And any place like
what I see,
any place like what? Anyone with good grass and so on and so forth.
Yes.
All right, moving right along.
Yeah. I didn't think so because I haven't seen
Wait a minute. There's like 3 fields.
Oh yes.
3 decent fields.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
it's
okay.
gonna be good.
But remember that we live in a hot climate, that we not
that's
getting
the point.
that whole set of
Exactly.
weather. It's not like we don't grow grass because you go to Q, so you don't see the grass. I see cactus and dirt.
Right. and the rain comes and it goes, and you get ruts,
and fields are not the best.
And some of it is dirt and some of it is grass, and especially with the dirt, when there's ruts, these kids are gonna step in those ruts.
So let me ask you this now. The better the turf, the better the surface, right? And the shoe is too tight. Can that cause a problem?
Yes, of course. Yeah,
right,
The turf is only one factor.
So let me ask
the rest is getting the right shoe.
Getting the right shoe.
With the spikes.
Okay,
do your kids wear spikes?
How do you get to the right
Your kids
shoe?
wear spikes?
Yes.
Well, if you have good grass, you got those bigger spikes.
Okay, not around here. We keep the
right, because it's a lot of dirt, and so there's spikes. But what happens when those spikes get worn out? Do the parents replace the shoe? Probably not. They keep wearing them.
Shoes get replaced more likely when they get small.
Are
they torn?
Yeah, but they also should replace them when the spikes wear down.
Okay.
Yeah, and they get mud on them, and mud between them. Do the parents and the kids clean the shoes to make sure there's no mud on them?
Well, most kids will clean the shoe.
Yeah,
but remember we don't because we have very little rain.
Yes, that's true.
And we have very little grass.
Yeah, so you don't get a lot of mud.
I think when we do get any mud, more than likely is the mud will dry up on the shoe and you pong it and it fall off.
Yes.
Or some of us who are clean
and neat freaks,
we will go home and get under the pipe and dig it off and just scrub it out.
Now, do they ever play on surfaces that are flat? That, let's say, pavement?
No.
Are there any places where they play on pavement?
We have people. Yeah, we do play. We don't encourage children to play on pavement and asphalt and things like that. We don't encourage that. But there are people that go and get a little sweats in the evening on the basketball courts and the tennis courts once they're available to do that. So we do.
No, but kids don't do it. Well, that's good.
We don't do it
because if the kids do it, then they need flat shoes. For that, you need the flat shoes.
Yes.
So the shoe makes a big difference. And also, what about kids showing up? Here's a good one for you. do kids show up at training for soccer or football, you call it, wearing running shoes sometimes, the wrong shoes? Because either they don't have the money and they
show
don't
up in sneakers. But not spikes, like running spikes. And I've never seen a football. They show up in a running spike, but they do show up in sneakers. Maybe they haven't gotten their football shoes as yet, or gets a bit tight and they decide to come. So we would allow the sneakers on occasion. But there must be a valid reason.
It shouldn't be a policy to allow them to continue.
I don't do that. If you want to be a footballer, you have to have the appropriate shoe for football. I could understand. Some of us are not as fortunate as others. But if you enroll your child in a sport, I think you should try your best to provide the necessary equipment.
Yeah, well, the important thing is that the running shoe is designed differently than the soccer or football shoe because it's designed for forward movement.
Right.
You know, for the foot to move forward. And not in soccer or football. You want to be able to move from side to side and make quick movements. And you need some ankle support there.
Some grip.
Some grip,
some catch and so on.
So it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference. Also, do the shoes wear out sometimes? And the parents, you know, they don't have the money or whatever, and the kids keep wearing shoes that get worn out. And that has an effect too.
So I just remembered something when you said that. So our grandmother, she went to the States, right? and her godchild told her to bring a football shoes for her.
Okay, right? Football, yeah.
She went in the store and asked for football shoes.
Ah, okay.
But you know, the football shoes is the NFL football shoes.
NFL football shoes.
So when she bought
with spikes? With spikes, but the wrong spike.
The wrong type of spike. But you know, those football shoes have the square looking things at the bottom. So
cleats, they call them cleats.
Yeah. He's young, he's like a 10-year-old. He came back and said, "Look at my new shoes."
He was very happy.
Yeah, of course.
He didn't realize.
And when we checked it, it's not the football as in football, it's the NFL type.
Right.
Yeah. You know, with the high
tops and so.
Yeah. But he's still playing. We can't say, "Hey, go back. Go back home, you have the wrong shoes."
This was part 1 of Head Talk with Dr. Rick, discussing shoes and the right fit. Join us next week for part 2.
Yeah, we had a really packed show this week, Terry. We had young footballers in the house. We had administrators in the house, Terry. We had champions in the house, past players in the house, Hall of Famers.
And it's always good to see the makeup of a championship team. We learned that from Grenades FC. And of course, we're still learning every week from our doctor in the house, Dr. Rick Millis. I hope you at home learned something from our conversation with him in allowing your child or children to wear the proper footwear whatever sport they're playing.
Yes, and thanks for watching. We're looking forward to seeing you next week at another episode of the GN Sports Show.
It's their time to shine on the GN Sports. So grab your gear, lace up those shoes. It's time to show the world what you can do. On the GN Sports Show, you'll find your light. With every step, you're reaching new heights. GN Sports, ho! GN Sports, where the youth lead the way. Champions up tomorrow, making waves today. From ages 5 and up, we help them grow. It's their time to shine on the GN Sports Show. GN Sports Show, GN Sports Show. GN Sports Show, GN Sports Show. So grab your gear, lace up those shoes. It's time to show the world what you can do. On the GN Sports Show, you'll find your